Hello, parents and students. Let's take a look at measurement conversions using proportions. The problem we have here says Mrs. Sanchez made 2.5 gallons of punch for her son's party. How many fluid ounces of punch did she make? So we know that we want to go from gallons to fluid ounces. But using the reference guide that we have, we can't go from gallons to fluid ounces directly. So we're going to have to go from gallons to quarts, and then from quarts to pints, then from pints to cups, and then from cups to fluid ounces. So I'm going to write that down kind of right here in parentheses. We want to go from gallons to quarts, and then we're going to go from quarts to pints, and then from pints we're going to go to cups, and then finally from cups we're going to go to fluid ounces. So what that's going to look like is, we know for the first proportion we're going to set up gallons over quarts. I know that I have 2.5 gallons. I'm trying to figure out how many quarts that is. Let's remember that a proportion has two ratios that are set equal to each other, so I'm going to put equals and then a bar right there to set up another ratio. Now, when we are dealing with measurement conversions, specifically proportions, we're always going to automatically have one whole ratio. Now, if we look at our labels, we know that we're dealing with gallons and quarts. So if we look over on our reference sheet, we know that 1 gallon is the same as 4 quarts. So I'm going to put 1 gallon and 4 quarts. And so the one that you're always going to have, the ratio that you're always going to have, is whatever your labels are. You're just going to get it straight off of your reference sheet. So here again it was 1 gallon and 4 quarts. So I wrote 1 gallon and 4 quarts. From this point we're just going to solve this like a regular proportion. We need to find a scale factor either vertically or horizontally. Here I think it's going to be better to find it vertically. So to get from 1 to 4, we're going to multiply by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. And so if we multiply down by 4 on the right side, we're going to have to multiply down by 4 on the left side. When we do 2.5 times 4, we do get 10. And so there are 10 quarts in 2.5 gallons. However, we're trying to go all the way to fluid ounces, but this is a big step in the right direction. So we're done with gallons. Now we have quarts. We're going to go from quarts to pints. So I'm going to set up quarts over pints. I know from the proportion above that I have 10 quarts. I'm trying to figure out how many pints that is. I'm going to put an equal sign and get ready to set up my second ratio. Now the second ratio is the ratio that's going to come directly off of the reference materials page. I know that I'm dealing with quarts and pints. So I'm going to look on here and find where it says quarts and pints. I know that 1 quart is the same as 2 pints. So 1 quart is the same as 2 pints. From here we just solve it again like a regular proportion. The scale factor that I see is from 1 to 2. We're going to have to multiply by 2. If we multiply by 2 down on the right side, we're going to have to multiply by 2 down on the left side. So 10 times 2 will give us 20. So we know that 20 pints is equivalent to 10 quarts, which was equivalent to 2.5 gallons. So slowly but surely we're working our way down all the way to fluid ounces. So we're done with the quarts. Now we're going between pints and cups. So I have my pints, I have my cups. Now from the problem above, I know that I have 20 pints. So I'm going to write 20 pints over this mystery number that we are solving for. The second ratio in this proportion is going to come directly off of our reference materials page. We are dealing with pints and cups. So I'm going to find where it says pints and cups. 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So I'm going to write 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. From here, just find a scale factor. So I see we can go from 1 to 2. We can multiply by 2. And so if we multiply by 2 down on the right side, we're going to multiply by 2 down on the left side. 20 times 2 will give us 40. So at this point we know that 40 cups is the same as 20 pints, which is the same as 10 quarts, which is the same as our original 2.5 gallons. So we're done with the pints. We have cups. Last proportion. Now we just got to go from cups to fluid ounces. So I have cups, and then I have fluid ounces. From the previous proportion, I know that I have 40 cups. We're solving for this right here. This will actually be our answer. So 40 cups, we're trying to figure out how many fluid ounces. So again, the second ratio of this proportion, we're going to get directly off of our reference chart. So we know we're dealing with cups and fluid ounces. So I'm going to look on here where it says 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. So we know that we have 1 cup equal to 8 fluid ounces. The scale factor that I see is to get from 1 to 8, we have to multiply by 8. So this says that 1 times 8 is 8. So we'll do the same thing to 40. We will do 40 times 8. When we work this out, we get that 40 times 8 is 320. So the answer to this problem is 320 fluid ounces.